All right, we're back. I'm Pat.
Hi, Pat. I'm Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, how was your day?
Way less eventful than yours, I can tell you that much. Um,
It was just long. Yeah.
long. Yeah, that's it was probably longer than mine for sure. Mine was 8 hours, including lunch. Um, I didn't do
What's
anything
your
in
sleep
particular.
schedule look like right now?
Whenever I feel like it. Well,
Yeah,
so
okay. Well,
so
I mean, just like normal.
um, so all right. Some of this is going to sound weird, so just bear with it. It is what it is. Um, so normally I will sleep at around 10 o'clock at night, right? Maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to get up sometime around 1 or 2 o'clock, right?
Take the dog up there.
Yep. Going
Yeah.
to do dog stuff. That also means that on the days when I run at the park, I'm going to do that too. So I'm usually going to go back to bed around like 4 or 5.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I got to be up by 8. I'm going to work through that point. Sometimes I'll go ahead and take a nap after. Um, I'll take a nap after the workday's over. Eh,
Okay.
eh.
Well, how long's your workday?
I'm done at 4.
In the afternoon.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
And then you go back to bed.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
I do that sometimes. Yeah, so it's kind of
So you
parsed
get
out,
like 4 blocks of sleep in a day.
something like that.
Really?
Yeah, something. I mean, again, it depends. And sometimes, look, sometimes there's nothing going on at work. Sometimes I'll get an hour in, during the day too. So
Really? You know, it's funny. When I worked on the railroad, they try to teach us this thing called wolf sleep. Have you heard about that?
I think so. What is it?
It's like 4 hours on, 4 hours off, 4 hours back on, off. But there's 6 rotations in a day of that.
I
Do
don't.
you feel rested?
It depends.
Okay.
It really. I mean, it really depends on what I was doing. So I mean, there are times where like I don't feel like mentally exhausted. I never run across that.
Well, that's
Um,
good because that didn't used to be the case.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, because that's the thing is, I can go to sleep anytime I want. I haven't had problems with that for years. Just if it's just any time during the day, it doesn't matter. I can go to sleep.
Well, it used to be like the train where you got to go on and you go like 10
Yep,
hours.
they ain't like that anymore.
Yeah, okay.
And you know what? The funny thing is, I'm gonna wake up after about 4 hours anyway.
Regardless. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's. I don't. I mean, I can go back to sleep after that, but after that, that's a good cycle for me. So I can get up, I can go do something, or if I want to, I can turn it back around. Or in the cases of like the best example was I was feeling like a little bit sick
Yeah.
uh, at the beginning of this week. That was no problem because I don't know what it is. Is
Just
just
murder it out. Yeah.
yep,
Yep. 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 I don't know, man. I've gone kind of in the opposite direction where like last night,
yeah,
so I went to bed at like 9:30 because it's like fuck, I have to get up really early in the morning.
yeah.
And I spent like my entire night sleeping in like 15-minute blocks.
See that kind of
It's ass, dude.
yeah.
So, but that's just because I knew I had to get up early this morning. Most nights, like tonight, even with this, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna crash out. I'll get up at about 10:30 in the morning, and I'll just knock it all out, man. And then I feel rested after that. And you used to be like that, right?
Uh, I used to. I mean, I think everybody starts out that way. I think
Okay.
there's a certain pattern that when you're growing up and hey, it's school time, right?
Right, right,
Your
right.
parents essentially send you to bed. You get used to this after a while. Um, it only takes a couple of swing or graveyard shifts
Oh yeah,
to
totally.
cure you of that,
Right.
right?
Permanently fuck you. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It looks like you've after 30 years, you've finally gotten back to normal.
I don't
Which
know if
is,
it's normal, man, but yeah, like I mean, like, well, you told me this year, like years ago. Listen to what your body's telling you, okay? And so I'd stay up until I got tired, all right, and then I would sleep until I was rested. But it's only been like the last like 4 or 5 years where I had a job where I could kind of like fit that in,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, because previous, like, fuck, when I was on the railroad, it was 12 on, 12 off. Okay,
yeah,
so if I want to do anything other than sleep, I got to get it in before or after, you know, and then eventually you just get in a pattern where it's like, no, I'm going home. I'm going to fucking hit the Taco Bell on the way home,
yep.
and then I'm going to eat that, and then I'm going to crash out, and then I'm going to wake up, and then I can mow my lawn before I have to go into work, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was the other way on that one, where it's I will do everything that I need to after work. Um,
Yeah.
it was like I'm going to the gym right after work. I'm going to do shopping, whatever that stuff is, and then I will go ahead and get those hours in and wake up at the last possible moment to go back into work. Now, that being said, the the one distinction I'll give you here is my transit time from my bed to my office was about 90 seconds, right? So now I'm generally speaking, now here's the thing is I would generally take a shower before, right?
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I'd get up in time to take a shower, brush my teeth, and all that stuff. But there was that occasional moment where it's like, I got to be there in 3 minutes. Better go.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that was the other way, was get everything done ahead of time, and then wake up at the last minute. Because I guess my this is a little bit of childishness to it, and I'll be blunt with it. Was when I get up early to do stuff before work and then go to work,
yeah. Hmm.
that felt like work.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
It's
I guess when I was on that rotation, so I had to be on duty. Let's see, what did I work? I worked 6 to 6, so 6 p.m. to
yeah.
6 a.m.
All right, you had my shift.
Yeah, and so what I learned after a little while was I would get up at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
All right, but I would always try and go to bed before the sun came up, and so I was legit like
yeah.
jetting home, you know, or like to my crib at that point in time, you know, to get into bed before the sun came up because otherwise I was fucked because you get like a second wind or something like that, you know. And so like I learned that like okay, and this is just like that fucked up graveyard shit, you know, where eventually you just kind of learn that it's like, all right, some days these things need to be done, and
Yes.
so if they have to get done, I'd rather do them before work because they didn't have to be done every day. So
Sure,
yeah,
sure. Yeah,
okay, yeah,
yeah.
all right, yeah, no, man. Like, dude, when I was working for the airlines ages ago, I used to bid the 5 a.m. shift, okay, because I could go to bed at 10,
Yeah.
get up at 4, you know,
Mhm.
scrub my butt,
Yep.
call it good,
Yeah.
go into work, put in a full day,
Gone it too.
yeah, got it to go
Yep.
home, hit the store, whatever I need to do, cut my grass, whatever.
Everything's open.
Everything's open.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I would still be in bed by 9.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but then when it got flipped over, you know, and then you have to like actually pay attention to where the sun is on the horizon.
You are not kidding.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah. And I remember like there were months there where I didn't see the sun, you know, just because of like,
Depending on your shift. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so, but now, like, now that I live this bougie professor life,
Indeed.
you know, yeah, like it's a war crime if I have to get up before like 9.
Well, again, like I told you, so I eventually took my sleeping lessons from the dog. She never looks tired, right? She never
Okay.
she never has this thing where, all right, if you look at an animal, right? You look at your cat too. Animals will do this, but I have dogs.
Yeah, cats are a
watch
little bit
dogs.
different. Yeah.
Well, cats like to tromp around at night too. They have that thing too, and my dog is kind of flipped on that. But cats also have that. It makes perfect sense because they have that sight beyond sight where they can.
Right. Yeah.
Their night vision is something else. It makes sense for them to actually thrive.
It's basically day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense for them to thrive at that time. But if you watch them, they'll do what they want to do. They'll eat when they want to eat. And they don't sweat. They don't think about, well, all right, I can't take a nap now because if I take a nap now, I won't be tired later. They're just in a different
They just
mindset.
don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're just in a different mindset. And they will go to sleep later, right? And that's, to me, what I learned was like, that's all mental. That's, if the dog can do it, there's no reason a human can't do it. And that's when I figured I'm like, it is my adherence, my thought to the parsing out of hours and time and the recognition and this, and this.
Mm.
And eventually, when I just forgot about that, I'm like, oh, yeah, no problem. I go hang out for a little bit. I will look on my phone for a little bit, and then I'm done. Then I'll go to sleep. And so sometimes if I feel kind of worn out in the middle of the day, shit, I'll go ahead and cash in lunch. I'll go ahead and take an hour nap, come back, go back to work. Sometimes I won't. I mean,
It just depends. Yeah.
just depends. Yeah, and I guess that was the other rig trick. Was I didn't get this from the dog yet, but at that point there was that thing where 96% of the time everything was great, no problems, things are working
Right.
great.
Yeah.
But 4% of the time when shit went down, you'd be up for 24 hours.
Yeah,
Right.
but you need to be prepped for that. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is,
Yeah.
so the argument is you don't know when things are going to break down. So if some opportunity comes up to take a nap, take a nap, right? I have also taken that approach sometimes with taking a shower because
Mm.
if you have, and I know that you, when you were with the railroad, you probably worked like at least a 24 because of an emergency
Oh,
or something.
totally,
So,
totally.
okay,
Yeah,
right?
dude. Yeah.
Okay.
I spent some nights in the Jeep.
Some nights in the Jeep.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Did you have to
Yeah.
do sometimes you're out there the day, you're sweaty, you feel disgusting?
You feel gross, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing too is, all right, if you got a chance to take a shower and you didn't, go take a shower.
Yeah, you'd regret
Sneak a
it.
shower.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, I guess that was the job that taught me that because almost all of my other jobs were basically shift work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one was like, oh shit, fucking shit went down, and you
Yeah.
just went to bed 30 minutes ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's the other person's turn for the emergency. It's an emergency.
All hands on deck. Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah,
running
yeah,
around
yeah.
finding the problem. Again, it rarely happens, but you don't have a choice when it happens. It's
And-
not I didn't get a full night's sleep.
And if you
It's,
get caught
give a
on the
fuck.
flat foot, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I'm so gross. I'm gonna peel my hat off my head.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
vile, and your skin just doesn't. It feels sticky.
Mhm.
It feels like another layer of clothing that's making you hotter or colder, depending on what the.
Right.
Yeah. Because I'm sure you did a couple out there when it was cold too.
Oh, totally, man.
Yeah.
Like blowing sideways at 50 miles an hour.
Yup, and
Yeah.
that layer of filth makes things colder.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just is. But yeah, that's my trick. Now, William was a different story. He's a different animal. So he'd ask me this, like, because we'd be sitting there, we trade off our shifts and stuff, and so like it's a Sunday, and I'd stroll in at 6 p.m. and I'd ask him, like how the games were or whatever, right? He's like, you didn't watch them? It's like, of course not. I was sleeping.
Yeah.
Right. William would get up at 10 o'clock or whatever it was, he would be up to start watching game when he was doing night shift, right?
Halfway through his sleep time.
Halfway through.
Yeah.
So I can watch the games. He would do that shit all the time.
Yeah, he is a different animal, man. Yeah.
Absolutely
No,
insane.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I can't do that. Well, he used to sleep like get 30-minute power naps or like 10-minute power naps.
Oh yeah, he would sleep between stands and
I
shit.
can't
He
do
was
that,
something
man.
else, man. He was something else.
I can't do that,
I wonder if perhaps he'll start returning to normal once his children depart.
It's possible. I don't know. He has twice as many as I do.
It
So
does.
that's
It
that's like
does.
many more permutations of schedule than what I have, but like my daughter is a chip off the old block, and so my wife is a professional sleeper. You know?
I've only heard stories, but it does sound. Yeah, it does sound that. I think she's in the light heavyweight division. I would say that she's
Oh,
definitely in there.
easily,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
She might be a medal contender.
yeah.
So at least at certain points in time. Other
Hmm.
times, not so much. So,
Well, and to her credit too, she did for at least a decade. She would pound out like fucking 12-hour days,
oh yeah, totally.
five,
She'd
six
come
days a
home and
week.
just
Yeah,
fucking crash out.
yeah.
Yeah, you know. I mean, it was like hard to pass her food on the way from like her car to the bed.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Just a little bit too dedicated there for a little bit.
We're different people.
We are different
You
people.
and me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. I'm much more of an open-ended sleeper now, man. Like tomorrow, I don't have shit to do until like 1:30. So
Okay,
so I'm just gonna pull the pin on it, man, and let it roll.
that's.
Free rolling.
I think Pat. I don't think you're your father, and you're definitely not my father. I'm not. Where well, if you didn't have to go until 1, that doesn't mean that you don't get up at 4:30.
Exactly. Yeah, my dad was the same way, man. We go on fucking vacation and he'd be up at 7:30. I mean, be out there tootling around, like checking the water tanks and shit like that.
You pull one of the. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Get back inside.
times are wasted. Yeah, it's good sunlight out here.
Well, and true to
Fish ain't gonna
form.
wait for you.
True to form. I mean, so if again, yeah, you and I both know that there's a
That's a
different
military
cycle.
thing, though, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a military thing. I never did that, so.
I've known non-military people who do that too, but I would agree that that's overwhelmingly where that comes from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The only
Yeah.
time I got used to it was like those. There was probably about like 4 or 5 years there where I consistently had to be at work at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And so then you get used to it, But then shift bid would come around and get fucking bumped, and it's like, oh, congratulations, you're 10 to 6 now. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you start getting sloppy.
10 to 6 sucks. 10 to 6.
I love that shift, man. So
10 to 6 for me was, well, I guess I'll be going to the bank for the 2 hours they're open on Saturday now
right.
because
Back when you have to go deposit your paycheck.
that shit where it's because again it's like, well, I'm certainly not going to get up early for this because
Nope.
being awake before work is work. As a matter of fact, if you're talking about the labor things that I would change, right? So I would argue that work starts when you wake up. Okay, the workday starts when you wake up. That includes travel, right? So if it's a 30-minute drive, that's 30 minutes pay. If you wake up 30 minutes to get all that, that's an hour, right? Now, I'm not going to go earlier than that to go take care of my errands on a 10 to 6 shift. I'm going to do what I can after 6, but all business things are for the most part closed at 6.
Right.
Or if you're trying to go to a place like the gym, they're busiest at 6.
Yeah.
So you want to do that stuff later on, or that's what to me those were the shifts where you ended up like.
Yeah, but you don't have to get up till 8:30 the next morning, man. 10 to 6.
What, get up at 8:30? Well, it depends on when you need to
Yeah,
leave.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on your drive.
I don't know. I just always like that swing shift.
I hate it.
Yeah,
so
okay.
much.
I used to like that one. It just kind of fit with me, in some respects. And then going over to full blown fucking graveyard Nightwalker.
It's a different story. The one I didn't like was 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Those
That's
those
brutal.
are
That's
I
brutal.
hate those, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's brutal because then you're obliged to do your stuff before you go to
you
work.
got no choice.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I don't think I ever worked that shift that much except for when I was at the airport
I did it
ages ago.
once. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
ages and ages ago. So I remember working like a 3 to 11:30 out there. Oh, we used to have those late night flights at like 1 p.m. 1 a.m. So you wouldn't even go into like 4.
That was before my time.
Yeah,
They
okay.
had given up on those at that point, but
Yeah.
I do know that shit. So I know that on Saturdays we did tens because we were both down to part time. So it
Right.
was like,
I was telling my
uh,
students today about our time card fraud.
what do they have to say about it? That's a
It was just kind of funny. We were talking about this thing that has to do with like, okay, if your job is treating you like fundamentally unfairly,
yeah.
you figure out ways to balance it out. And then like, so we went from that point in time where like we were so fucking busy that you'd pay other guys to get a day off. So to the point in time where you would pay other guys to leave so you could actually like,
Make that money.
yeah, make
Yeah.
that money to the point in time where you couldn't even make that much money. So you just swipe their time card. So they get that extra like 10, $15, yeah.
Well,
And it was kind of funny because I was talking about it, and the whole reason why that happened was because Bob wouldn't cut people. He didn't actually cut down the roster, and so we would have 3 guys working at nights. Where like there's only enough tips to actually support one dude, and so you might as well soak up the extra dollars and go home early. Except for well, then we always used to rotate. Who got what nights.
well, if I recall, part of that was not his choice. It was as part of the contract with the airlines they had.
They had to have so many people there. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but you didn't need them. So yeah,
No,
no,
no.
yeah. But I'm sure, like, yeah, they got paid by. Yeah, you're right.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure where that came from. Yeah, but I
And
mean,
that's why it took a long time for us to get busted on that. So
we never did.
we never did. Oh, a certain guy did who didn't punch out for like 36 hours.
Pat, okay, so this is okay. Here's my concern on this one, right? And it's to tell you the truth, and this is sort of rough because this is now a posthumous friend of ours.
Yeah, sure.
This is, but in no means is this me speaking ill of the dead. What I'm going to say here is that that behavior did not stop when he went to the next position.
Well, I didn't know him that much after that. You did. So, didn't you guys work together? Weren't you guys at the tickets place?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Nope,
okay.
nope. I just know. So he did a couple of things that were similar to what I was doing, which is why I knew what he did and why he'd get canned for it. That's
Did
where
they fire him for that?
for which thing the thing at the
The
airport.
time card fraud.
No,
Yeah, I didn't think so.
no. Somehow he how did
I
I
think we
don't.
were still so short-handed.
Yeah, he was
There was
somehow
something like that. Yeah,
those two guys. It was amazing that he had. So we saw the sheet.
because it was him and Robert who did that. Who was it?
It was Alex.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, while he was working with me at TWA. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
he
All
was
right.
still on the. He was double dipping. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because when it came down to it, that's when he would get Kevin, and Kevin would get him on the way out.
yeah.
So
When
it
we
like both of them.
after we cleaned the plane at night, he would go punch everybody out. Yeah.
So I remember seeing that sheet with his name and Alex's name circled at the same time. Because on
And that was
different.
after Bobby got fired. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, no, Bob was still there.
I thought it was Lance who pulled that sheet.
Well, Lance pulled that sheet, but Bob was still there.
Okay.
Bob was still our boss. He just wasn't in the big office.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But
Yeah, because he took Eddie's job. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
So I remember seeing that sheet, and I was like, these guys are done. But somehow they managed to explain it in terms of I've been working overtime, and they both kept their job. I do not really understand how that worked out, but those guys made it. And this is the thing that I was
It was
saying.
only $2 an hour.
No, 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 no. Those guys were
Only 425. Were they doing it as bag runners?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
not that we're talking about a fucking gold mine, but it
No.
was definitely a chunk. But especially when you do that 5 days a week.
Right. 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 Yeah. You get a couple of extra $100 a month out of it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. But the thing was, Kevin did things that after he left there, I was like, why'd you get canned from there? And he told me what he was doing. I was like, I know exactly what you're doing. He would do things. He would like, so.
This is call center stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
he was a
Yeah.
work tagger. That was
Right. Yeah.
that's the like I know what this is. I mean, so there were a couple of different tricks that I remember guys would do. One was work tagging. I learned that one at Cheap Tickets, where if there's nothing going on, if there's nothing, no calls coming in, there's this button that basically says busy, or
Right.
in most places it says work, right?
Right.
And that is basically your pause that says, I'm not ready to take a call in between the next thing, right? So if nobody's doing anything, right, if you tap that and then let it go, right, if there's 50 people waiting and you were 20, by pausing, you come out of that, unpausing, you go back
you
to
go
the
down
bottom,
to 50.
right?
Yeah. Got it.
And so that wouldn't do anything for you when stuff was coming in. But if you were having a slow day, right? If there weren't a whole lot of people calling in that day, you could basically go the whole day without doing anything,
Wow.
right? Now, the other thing that we did, and this was, I don't know, some guys got away with this for months. I don't know how.
This is at Cheap Tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was something you'd call autopilot, where what you do is the headset that you put on has a curly Q cord and it plugs into another curly Q cord, and that goes into the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you take this end, you pull it over here, you take that off, you put this down here where it looks like it's just coming up from the thing. And what you do is you just hang out, calls come in, it doesn't reach anybody.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah.
People
still showing up in the queue.
Well, and so that's the thing is if a call gets pulled at random, right? If they're like, we're going to monitor, we're going to see how this guy's doing. They pull a call at random, right? They're just going to see that, like, oh, this looks like a call that disconnected, right?
Oh wow.
But ultimately, you have to take calls.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, you have to have because I remember the couple call centers that I worked at, you had to have so many customer feedback responses every single month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, and at that place, we were working on a commission.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We were getting hourly, but we were also getting bonuses off commission. And so it's like, well, if you're not selling product, right? So,
oh, got it. So it would show up there too.
So I mean, what you could do
But
is
it would take a month to figure that out.
It would take a month, or again, that's the thing is it could be that you could be in the situation where, all right, let's say that I went in there and I just tore shit up on Monday. Because again, this wasn't
All right.
this wasn't
Yeah.
a high pressure thing or like a huge thing. It's just like you hit here, it's a tier, here it's a tier. You're still always going to get your base pay, right?
Right.
So if you went out there and did great, you tore it up, at the beginning of the week, go on autopilot for a couple of days, right?
Right. Yeah. So the few call center jobs, because I think I worked 3 different call center jobs.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So I worked one where I used to take orders for parts.
Yes.
Okay, and that was just based on call volume, you know,
Right.
and everybody had a base salary and stuff like that because nothing was salary or nothing was commission.
No incentive, right?
Yeah, there was no incentive. It was just like you could get a little bonus if you actually like process more calls than your peers.
Okay. Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, any call that came in, they knew exactly what part they wanted. They knew exactly what catalog to pull it from,
Right.
all that stuff. So it was easy, you know.
Yeah.
It was just busy. You were literally like, call, 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 call.
Yeah.
So, but then like I remember like when I did loans there for a little bit,
Right. Yeah.
there were other things that you actually had to sell, and you got bonused only on those,
Right.
but you were expected a certain amount of calls, you know. And that was all based upon your peers. And so it's just like, just normal distribution kind of thing. So if you're way on one tail, then you got called and you got, talked to about that. And it was usually like one of those things is like you're taking too long in your calls. This is easier to do. You just need a little bit more training kind of thing in order to get through this quickly.
Yeah.
So, but then it was later, like the last call center job that I worked, which was when I was a financial advisor.
Yeah.
That was, it wasn't based upon like selling additional things and stuff like that, but that's where they really looked at call time, you know.
Yep.
And you could park yourself in a situation where you had like a call that was a little bit more complicated that took more time to figure out.
Yep.
But if you did that too much, then they would call you out, even if it was legit.
Yep.
Because it was just based upon like the normal distribution of where everybody's at and things like that. And that was the one that I felt that was the most bullshit. You know, yeah. So that's when the airline called me back. I went back and forth.
Right, blame me for a second. I mean,
uh,
so here's the tough thing is I get where they're coming from. It's not as though I don't understand the difficulty of it. There is a
you know what? In that job, they would also like ding you if you had to refer to any calls to a supervisor. So they
oh,
used to,
delightful.
yeah, they used to do that too. Yeah, come to think of it. So if you didn't know what you were doing, you would get dinged for it.
That's funny. I just recently uh I had to call my pet insurance about a month ago,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And I think they may have some of that going on too, where they were having some normally, and this is why I've always, recommended them, was those guys will usually get you processed within like 2 days,
Okay.
right? So I've got a claim open and it's like on day 13 and it'll show you it's like the Domino's pizza tracker. It's like received, queued, processed, paid,
Processing,
right?
processing, processing. Yeah.
And usually it'll have you queued by like the next day.
Oh.
And mine was still basically like completed on step one by like day 13. So I call them like, you guys missing something? Is there?
They used to call that call resolution. Yeah.
Well, and that was, you do that
Yeah.
online.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
process the
yeah.
claim online. And so
Yeah.
whoever it is that's processing the claims, they just move along the next steps. So it was still stuck there. So that's why I called them and I said, hey, is there anything wrong with this? Are you missing paperwork? Is there an issue? They're like, well, it was an ungodly number. It's like it can take like
46 days.
yeah, something that it was like I hear you. Why is it that it's always been this long thus far? Is something changed or whatever? It's like I'm not giving you a hard time. I just want to know because if there's something different now or the process has changed, tell me so I know what to expect. Right? That's cool. If you
Or
guys
what do you need? Yeah.
yeah. And again, it's not necessarily that it's like sometimes even places like those, they're going to have like loan underwriters. They can say like we went with a different team. They take longer now. It's like
Yeah.
don't worry about it. It's like it's okay. Just tell me what if I know what to expect, it's not a problem. But if I see it go from 2 days to 13 days, I'm like,
Oh, what the fuck?
am I missing paperwork? Did I
Right,
do
yeah.
something wrong? Did my vet say something? And it's just like well, this is the normal process. I'm like, well, if you say so. And so another 5 days goes by and nothing happens.
No
And
check.
no, it's still in that same spot.
Yeah.
still at that same spot. So yeah, I called him back and I
Pizza's still in the oven.
yeah,
It's been in
and
the oven for 6 days.
that was I mean that was the shit right there. Was I call him there's like, well, it can take this. It's like, all right, um, listen, I appreciate that you're saying what you have to say. All right, I need to speak to the next level of management, please. I'm like, not picking on you, like whatever the
You're
problem
always
is.
very polite about
It's
that.
like it's like, don't take this personally. She's like, well, I can get you to this group. I'm like, and they handle this? Like, no, they're different. Well, why would I want to speak to them?
Right, yeah.
And she's like, well, if my supervisor's going to tell you the same thing, it's like, well, fine, I'll hear it from his mouth.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, I
Let's
don't
get
think
you
that's.
off the hook.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's on you to make that mistake.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And he may say it in different words than you do, and I'm looking forward to it. So here's the thing.
Hit me.
I was like, we're not going to waste another minute disputing this back and forward.
Right, yeah.
You're going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be here waiting. And she's like, I remember I had one. This was, God, this made me laugh because that person, they're like, they came back. They're like, hey, they're in a meeting. I'm like, I'll be here.
Wait a minute, my call time. Arr.
I don't have anywhere to be. I'll be right here. She's like, well, no, they're in a meeting. I'm like, okay, well, tell you what. So go knock on the door. Say, this dickhead won't go away. I can either wait here on this end with you, or you can go ahead and grab this person. And so, like another,
crickets.
like another 5 minutes goes by. It's like he's still in the meeting. And like, nah, that's tough. All right, well, no problem.
No problem.
Hang
I'm
out.
here. Yeah.
I'm out for like another 12 minutes. Eventually, this person showed up. I'm like, oh man, I hate to interrupt your meeting. What's
Help me. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, mister. I hate that it came to this. I hate that this person said I couldn't speak with you. Is there like a sign on your door that says people aren't allowed to talk to you? It's like, no. I'm like, odd that they would say that, don't you think? It's like, you ought to put a little mark down there and listen to this one. Because if a person tells you that they can't speak to your supervisor, that's kind of a bad mark, don't you think? It's
Right.
like, no problem. And so this is the same
All right.
person where they said, on top of that, he's like, well, I'll process this. It's like, what do you mean you'll process it? So what I can do is I can take this, I can send it through here, basically expedite it. It's like, and this will get done within 2 days. I'm like, so you did tell me something different than the.
Right. Yeah.
How was that possible?
Oh man. Yeah.
I hate this shit, Pat. I do. I don't. I have a rough go of these things sometimes. Like
Well, you just seem to collect them. So
I guess.
I don't know, man. I mean, you work call centers for so many years, you kind of know how it works. So
I do.
yeah.
I do. I mean, I guess the other component of this is I will tell you this, and you've been with me in many circumstances where you've seen me interact with all people of different services.
Mhm.
I am typically as polite as a human being
You were
can
exceptionally polite,
get. But
you're also very firm. And you
Right.
realize if you got them
Right.
on the phone, you can get to where you need to be.
there's a certain amount of guff that I won't take.
Well, it's more bureaucratic bullshit that you're just, you kind of see through it a little bit faster. Like, I'm much more willing. It's like, okay, well, call me back,
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, because I mean, there's the second point of it is like, oh, they can call me back. It's like, okay, no problem. Tell me when.
See, I wouldn't ask that.
Well, that's
I probably should, but yeah, I don't. Yeah.
that was the thing. I was like, all right, so no worries. All right, so I need to set my schedule around this call. So you need to tell me
Right,
between
yeah,
when and when this
yeah,
person is going
yeah,
to call. And if they don't, who do I reach out and touch with?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
See, those are those follow-up questions that I don't ask. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna. Here's the thing: is I watch too many circumstances where somebody told somebody this shit, right? And then that person doesn't get a call back. Then they have to do it all over with somebody
Right. Yeah.
else.
Yeah. Start it all over again.
It's like, no, man, I'm not trying to make anybody's day harder. It's just it's gonna ruin somebody else's day and
Yeah.
somebody else's day if I have to do this.
I don't
again.
want to sit here on hold like for 7 minutes while you read the notes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. So
And
it's
that's even if
like
somebody
fuck that shit.
bothered to put them in there. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's happened. And
totally.
again, I'm not picking on people because I know the job is hard, right? And that's why the first thing that I do is I'll alleviate a person and say, look, before I do anything, it's like your name, Justine. Okay, Justine, I want you to know that you're the hero of this story. Like you have, I want you to understand there is nothing that you have done wrong in this circumstances. Who are the villains? The people that didn't give you the authority to take care of
Right.
what you
Yeah. Yeah.
needed to,
Yeah.
right? They're the person who I am getting terse with, not you. You do understand that, right?
Yeah, but I've never worked a call center job where you could not like I mean, like on frontline, you never had that much like leeway. So when I was a ticket agent at the airport, I had a lot of leeway, and
You did, didn't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
totally, man. I'd be like, okay, so if flight leaves in 35 fucking minutes, what's going to take you to get you to actually take this voucher? And my boss, like, if we had an oversold flight, he would come out and he would tell us, you can go up to this. Anything past this, you have to let us know. Okay. And it was usually pretty broad. Okay. I mean, like, I could get you domestic tickets, no problem. I
Really?
could get you domestic first class tickets, no problem. International, maybe.
No shit.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. So, and it was one of those things where we kind of use it as like a little bit of a competition. How low could we lowball a customer, kind of thing. But we all had that authority, and if it got to the point in time where we're like 4 or 5 minutes away from boarding and we're still like seats oversold, we would announce it. First guy up at the counter gets this. And we would always get takers, kind of thing.
Wouldn't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, but like every now and then you have a flight where people will hold out a little bit, and we're like, we're not kidding. Okay, we're not kidding. If you come up here now, you get this. If not, you're gonna get bumped.
Because then it's like, so if this isn't resolved in 3 minutes, I'm going to put numbers in a hat.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it wasn't even that. It's we're gonna close the fucking door and deal with you guys who aren't on the plane right now. So, but I mean, we had a lot of leeway in that, and we could work it on the counter too, because if we knew we had a like heavily oversold flight, boss would come out, supervisor would come out and say like, okay, so this flight's oversold. We need to get 10 people off the counter, and so every last one of us would pitch that in the beginning. It's like, hey, next flight's in an hour and a half. Can we can book you another connection. We can get you there. Are you cool being there like 2 hours later? And 9 times out of 10, we would sell those, no problem. But then when it got down to the gate, it got a little bit more serious, and that's where, I was like, all right, so first class upgrades, and I was like, all right, international tickets, bam, people would show up, and it was like, well, can I get first class? No,
First class domestic.
first class domestic, yeah, exactly.
You want that instead? I'll give you that.
Yeah, you want that? It's going once, going twice. Otherwise, I'm going to talk to that guy right behind you.
I tell you, man, DC's a lot like London. You just don't have to cross an ocean to get there.
Exactly. Yeah. Subway's just as dangerous. Yeah. So, but that had a time limit on it too, and so you could actually enforce that time limit on a customer.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so that made it a little bit different. It was a little bit different than working in a call center. It was like, I'm going to talk to your supervisor. It was like,
Yeah.
all right, well, he's in a meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, that's the thing to me is it's like don't. That's not an answer for me. It's like he's in a meeting. It's like you have tons of those.
Right.
We'll catch the next one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll wait.
It's like, I had 4 myself today.
I'm on one right now. Yeah.
That's happened. It's like I scare my screen with you here. It's the Zoom is clearly open. It's just minimized in this little corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is I had to do it. I got pulled
Totally.
off of shit sometimes where it's like I'm in a meeting, a person comes and say, "This is hey, we got this situation. Like, I'll see you guys later. I gotta go deal with this."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That shit happened.
It does.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, like the part that I struggle with, not so much at the bank, but definitely when I was working with the financial advising.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there were a lot of times where we were like dependent upon outside entities like FedEx and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so I can give you the tracking number. You can track it yourself. It's like, no, I need to make sure that package is on its way. I was like, I can give you the tracking number. We already cut you the check. It's cool. It's en route. It was like, I need it tonight to close on this house. And I was like, I got you.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you have is all the information that I have. And so, okay, fine. I want to talk to your supervisor. Okay, great,
Yeah,
man.
no problem, man.
Here you go. And you were like, well, you have the tracking number. You know?
Well, and I mean, again, that is the piece of that's why you make the big bucks because there's a
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and I get the thing because you're right. The same thing went with when it came to phones and stuff. There's like this like
yeah.
something breaks, you got to go ahead and ship a replacement to them and stuff like this. And I'm like, I haven't gotten here yet. I'm like, I gotcha, I gotcha. I mean, the only problem is, so this is us, right? We don't send the trucks. I
I
can.
never use that line. That's a
It's
good
like
one. Yeah.
it's like I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm just telling you like it is. So what I can tell you is I just went ahead and picked this up here, and I can tell you that these clowns picked this thing up at 3:13 this afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Right now, from there, the actual delivery service that has now left my hands.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So the problem is, I could call them; they wouldn't tell me a thing. It's not my package.
Right. It's your package.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there's a holdup, if there's something where it's like, hey, we didn't know there was going to be a blizzard in Des Moines, um, so it's going to be an extra day. I'm sorry about that. I apologize, but I don't know what's
You're
going
gonna have to
on.
get your radio tubes later.
Correct, correct. And it's like, hey,
Well, I mean, that was the same thing when I
yeah,
worked baggage service, for a long time. I mean, I could track down a bag,
yeah,
in a
yeah,
lot of cases. And I get, okay, so it made it to Dallas, so it blew at the connection. All right, so my next flight comes in at 11 o'clock in the morning. All right, 99 times out of 100, it's going to be there. Okay, I can't see it anymore. All right, so,
yep.
but oh, wait a minute, it's all the airline. I was like, yeah, I get that. And I can call down there and I can call down to Central Baggage Service and say, hey, is this bag sitting out there on the fucking ramp? Has it been driven over by like 12 tugs by this point? I don't know. Neither do you. That kind of thing. You know? So I can't help you with that, but I can assure you that, like the next possible point where it will be here is 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. And so going up to Vail, we'll ship it to you, no problem. I'll even hire a cab to go up there and bring it to you directly. We used to do that all the time, kind of thing. But oh, I need to know exactly where my bag is. I was like, well, I got you, man, and I get it. Like I'm the guy, okay, but I can only see what I can see. So, and
Yeah.
this is where I'm at. Don't don't wait on us. We'll get it to you, kind
Yeah.
of thing, and then of course it didn't show up the next fucking
Why would it?
exactly. Yeah. Why would it? Yeah. It's okay. I'm not in until 3.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's not as though I don't. Here's the problem: is it's not as though I don't feel for these people. I do, and there
Sure.
are certain circumstances where, yeah, I would imagine. So, like what you were talking about there, with like, I need this check to close on my house. I'm like, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Yeah, I
That
got
is a
you.
fact.
Yeah,
The problem is that once it's left my
yeah.
hands,
Yeah, it's not my problem.
like I will do everything under the sun within my power, sort of getting on my rocket bike,
Right?
and
Yeah, exactly.
I was like,
So reach to the heavens themselves to pick up your check and deliver it to your lap.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, wait a minute. Actually, no, I'm off in an hour. Yeah.
Right. That will then be Dwayne's problem.
Dwayne's
Right.
problem. The Dwayne
Yeah.
the morning guy.
No, no, man. I totally understand. Like I said, I'll never not feel for these folks. Because, yeah, these are. I also understand the difficulty of. All right, I never like things with luggage. I get it, and I also understand,
Yeah.
the secondhand side of this of being in that business, right? You being in that business
Sure.
of knowing where. All right, to the person who I'll come back to this, but it's a question of like as far as the average sausage maker goes for a person at the airport, if they check a bag, they give it to somebody, they watch it go down a hole, and they see it come out another
Yeah,
hole and come back,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
They do not see it like because yeah, as soon as it goes through that little like past flap, right? That's when you get
Yeah,
the do
yeah.
do 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 do, right?
Yeah.
And somehow it ends up back to you. they don't know how it changes hands or where it goes or why.
No, and they didn't realize the consequences of booking 3 different connections on 2 different airlines.
No, they do not.
Yeah,
No,
with really tight connection times.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Correct. And
I
so,
used to get that all the time with
oh,
international luggage. Yeah,
well, how could you not with international? Because,
and like sometimes things would get jammed up in customs, and then even at the airlines, like, yeah, it's in Greece customs.
what's it doing there?
Oh, what'd you put in it? You know?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I can't tell you everything, and I can't read all like Greek, but I do see the word Uzi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that's the same in Greek. I'm not
Yeah, no,
entirely sure.
I'm pretty sure that's Israeli, but yeah. No, I don't miss those customer service days. I mean, I learned a lot about like dealing with people and stuff like that. And, like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no. And, like, and to your credit, you're always exceptionally polite with individuals on this, but you just don't tolerate that bureaucratic bullshit, that comes around. And I mean, I've got a little bit more tolerance for that, but, on certain things, it's like, I'm paying for this.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's
yeah.
like I'm paying a lot of good money for this. Where the fuck are my prescriptions? What's the holdup here? Like who do I need to call? Is it you?
That's
You
right. Yeah.
know?
Right. It was, again, that little adventure mind was like, okay, wait, so you own this building?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, oh no, no. Do you sign your own checks? It's like, okay, no. So somebody else does, right?
Right.
Get me in touch with
I
that
want to
person.
talk to that
Yeah.
person right now. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's I wouldn't like what you're talking about is like with the eyeglasses shit. I'm like, you guys fucked up. Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm not
remember
gonna.
that.
It's
Yeah.
you guys don't have another doctor for me to go to get this done. So either give me my fucking money back so I can go ahead and get this taken care of somewhere else
Yeah.
that can
Yeah.
handle this, or what are you gonna do?
I've
Like
only
this
had to
was
do
your
that a couple
mistake,
times.
guys.
Yeah.
You fucked up like 2 pairs of my glasses.
Yeah. I've only had to do that a couple times. Where it's like, no, 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 we're done. All right, money back now. I'm out. Oh, I already ordered and stuff like that. You said that 6 weeks ago.
Right,
So yeah, we're
right.
we're, we're done here. Okay,
Yeah.
so get me on the phone with somebody who can actually like refund this, and we're gonna call it good. You know. So yeah, there's only been a couple things like that.
I mean, that's the thing is I hate having to do that, but there's just a certain amount of there. There are a lot of things, and God help me if I haven't done this a few times in my life where, well, if you just don't make a thing out of it, uh, people have enough stuff in their life going on, so eventually it'll go away, right? And I know that there's a lot of people in this world
Yeah,
where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to fight these guys over $20 or whatever, right? And it's never. I'm not going to hunt people down over money. It's just kind of like I need to see.
I need my shit.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because the thing
yeah.
is like, guys, it's not. If this were just a circumstance of like cash or whatever,
Right.
whatever, it's just I can't see, right?
Right. Yeah. I can't breathe. I need my inhaler.
Just,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm sitting there saying like, look, Del Monte says this is 75 cents. This says 79 cents.
No, 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 no. It's not like that. Yeah, no.
I don't want you to go to jail, but right, it's not where
Right.
I'm arguing over this shit. But yeah, it's just kind of like, guys, so what's going on with this claim? Do I need documentation to get this fixed? No, it just takes a while. I'm like, it didn't always take a while. What's
Yeah.
different?
What's new? Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
again, if something's different, again, because you and I have done this, you and I have done that subcontractor shit where it's like, hey, you know what? As soon as this is done here, it goes to Experian, it goes here, and it does this and this. Like that's where it leaves my hands, right?
Yeah. That's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally
Okay. Yeah.
understand. It was like, oh, so if it's going to take 2 weeks now, no worries. I know what to wait for, right? Well, yeah, that's the kind of shit that drives me. The same thing. When I was getting my shots down there over there, where I'm like, how did you say that? You said this at the bar, where it's like, this shit ain't free, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
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 So, so as I'm sitting there watching, like, this, we're talking about a basketball needle. After I'm watching like basketball needle number 5 go through my skin here. I'm like, why did you fire the people that know how to actually take blood?
Yeah. I can't remember the context for that, but yeah, it's like, no, man, this ain't free. Yeah.
If I recall, and you tell me if some of this sounds familiar, like the brewmeister or something was kind of like, I think I did a pretty good job on this or something or
It
whatever.
was something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was something like that. I can't remember if it was a prepaid thing or something like that we did or something like that. It
Yeah,
was just
remember you told
absolute
me that. I was like,
garbage. I was
yeah.
like, this shit ain't free, man. There was something like that. I can't
Remember you
remember
told me that.
exactly
I'm
what it
like,
was.
God,
Yeah.
Pat's right, man. No, there's certain things where, yeah, and in the same way, like you notice things where like quality of something has like fallen off a cliff,
Yeah.
right? And it's that exact thing. I'm like, I'm paying for
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
I live in
Yeah.
a world of choice, man.
I had to work for this money.
Right.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
Yeah, exactly. There's been a few things like that over the years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, um that's my anti-slop argument, right? Is the
Hmm.
whole, you go to the movies or something, and
Right.
this is where Will is just kind of like, it's a product. You just sit there and watch product until you're done. I'm like, no, this wasn't free. And
It wasn't free.
well, there's two components of it. It's like, so there's two things that are going on here, right? Number one, they asked me for my money.
Right.
Number two, they asked me for my time, right?
Yeah.
And so, given the option here, if they're going to take this franchise and they're going to say, like, listen, guys, it's Star Wars, okay?
Right. Yeah.
We've got guys in the bag. They're going to show up because it's Star Wars,
Dude,
right?
that's been going on Star Trek lately.
Oh yeah, they
Bad.
that corpse is unrecognizable. That is
Yeah.
just like, that is closed casket, because that thing took a hail of gunfire that it's just like, oh my God, look what they did to my boy. Um, it's
My
yeah,
boy.
dude. But yeah, that's the list. We got guys in the bag, so let's go ahead. We're gonna feminize this. We're gonna feminize this, and then suddenly you're saying like, well, why didn't you show up? Why aren't you paying? It's like, because I'm not gonna give my time and money,
Right.
because that means,
Shit ain't free, bro.
yeah, this shit ain't free.
Yeah.
This shit ain't free. Okay, so you know what? This was something that like I don't remember. I was talking to you about this like before. This came up about shows.
Mhm.
How many episodes of a show are you obligated to give something to see if it turns around?
Ooh, I don't know, man. It depends on the hook.
Okay,
So yeah,
okay.
it definitely depends on the hook.
What's the last thing that you watched that you gave up on? You're like, this ain't for me.
Reacher. Yeah.
How far did you? Well, okay, you watched all
I
of.
watched all of season one. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
I got
I
about
watched that.
halfway through season two, and I was like, "This is dumb." You know,
Yeah,
it's going to bad places. I'm not going to watch the rest of it. But I was already paying for the service. It's just like at that point in time, it was like time.
it's time.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah,
I ain't got
yeah.
time for this. The other one, I guess the last one that I gave up on was House of the Dragon.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
I watched the first season. And it was like fine, depressing, but fine.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then season two dropped, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
yeah,
Like yeah,
yeah.
I watched like one of those, and I was like, oh, it's not it. We're not doing anything different.
That's kind of where I'm at with
Yeah.
that too. Is there are a lot of people who say,
Although I hear that the latest drop of the Night of the Seven Kingdoms is really fucking good. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, I haven't had access to HBO since I lost access to my,
mm,
Harvey Dar server. But I might ask that guy.
say you
Yeah,
might.
yeah. I think my wife still has access to that. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay, 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 okay.
now that I have like fucking screamingly fast Wi-Fi,
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
it totally makes a difference, dude.
Life changes that way. Yeah, it's so yeah, there was somebody made the argument of like, if there are 12 episodes, you have to watch half, Are you crazy?
No,
It's
man.
it's the
They're
same.
like an hour long a piece. Fuck that. Got shit to do. So yeah.
It's like I don't care if the second half is where it actually gets going,
Right.
because I mean, to me that's sort of, sorry, I don't. There are indicators that you can see early on that, at least to me, tell me that this is not going to be done very well, right? This was, and Will gave me some shit about this when that League of Legends Netflix show Arcane, right? Um, Very cool looking show. I love the style of this,
Mhm.
right? But I think it's in the first episode. I mean, there's a little bit of like, there's no other way to say it, but like millennial writing going on there. But the thing that stopped me was they did the classic. I was like, I cannot believe you guys are doing this. Where there's okay, so we've got a room. Take a look at this room, Patrick. Let's
Uh-huh.
pretend that doorway has a door.
Okay.
Okay, now I want that door to be. It's not all the way open. It's about 7/8 closed,
Okay.
right? Just big enough where a pair of somebody's eyes can look inside, right? Now,
Okay.
okay, now behind that door are two people,
Okay.
and they're talking about a person who's not there.
Okay.
Okay, they have this discussion. And they're talking about the problems that this person has.
Okay.
The person that they're talking about walks up slowly, hears their name. You see their eyes look inside the door but not open it. And what do they hear? They hear part of a conversation.
Uh-huh.
Now, they're not there when the next part of the conversation where they say, like, I think this person's a detriment to the team. She walks away crying at that point when the next line is, but I
yes.
think
Fucking
with some
spare me.
time,
Yeah.
she's going to turn around, right? So if you're using that trick in
It's not a good
episode
hook.
one,
Yeah.
you're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
It's like I can tell how this is going to go from here on out. And you can say like, hey, why don't you watch the rest of the episodes and find out, like, because that's the rest of the episodes, man. If you're doing your first episode is your hook, and
you
if
got to
you
put
can't,
it out there. Yeah.
yeah. That's why in action movies something blows up in 14 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not firing on the crowd.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, man. I don't know, man. So like, my media diet lately has been, pretty off the radar
Yeah,
in terms of
yeah.
some of the mainstream stuff. But I was talking to my brother about this tonight. I might have to actually get that new Game of Thrones thing just because,
Sure.
I was like, okay, so it sounds interesting, and
Yeah.
like I don't know, man. I mean, I've been harping on this on the podcast for years. This is just like one of those things. It's just like a straight up hero story, please. Like I don't need all this setup and shit like that. Just get to it.
Patrick,
Well,
duty, honor,
right, country.
sacrifice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
The cornerstones of a boy story.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't write boy stories.
No, they don't. And I mean, it's just like sometimes you just want something that it doesn't make you think too hard, too. It's like I don't need this to be a mirror to the rest of my society. I see that on fucking Twitter every day. Stop that.
I live here.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm retired. I literally got my little like fucking Minecraft rowboat and rode it off for a little bit, because I just couldn't take it anymore, man. I mean, like the fucking floodgates that are the news anymore.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like I can't do this.
Oh no. When it came to, all right, so that aspect of a lot of it being very morally gray, very
Right. I can't do that anymore.
that's what I'm saying. I live here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, give me fucking Lord of the Rings again, please.
It's like so
It's like, I get it. Guy in a big black armor suit, red eye, bad. Yeah, awesome.
but
That'd be
really
great, yeah. No,
See,
no,
the
no,
thing
no,
is-
no, obviously evil. Please.
but what you don't know
No. Red laser eyes, bad.
Well, okay, so I mean, this is the thing is like yes, it's so all right. That would be like okay, so it is. Let's go back a couple of months. Let's go back to January. Let's pretend that this was actually like normal Colorado. That would be like saying like, all right, well, I got one trip to take this year.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go to some place that's about 19 degrees out, has mountains, and it's about 5,000 feet above sea level.
All
Like,
right.
but why? You live here.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it snows, but mostly not. You know?
That's what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Yeah. So
Well, yeah, and it's not that I need something to be simple, but there's a certain term to it where it's like, yes, life is morally gray, right? As you get older, you do understand it. And when I was younger, I wanted to be able to put things into two pieces, right?
right.
Because there's not that it's necessarily simple. It's something where it's like, all right, well, I feel good about doing this because I'm able to identify that these things are right, these things are wrong. Now, that being said,
I want something that's clarifying.
well,
Yeah.
ultimately, if there is something where a person does, that's the world they face,
Right.
then the interesting thing is watching someone who, oh, okay, well, within this ugly universe, you have a person that is good,
Right.
right? You don't have to necessarily make it just like, red laser eyes or anything, but the person there
Right.
is fighting against that,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's so, for example,
Dude, and so much
yeah,
of like fucking 80s and early 90s stuff was like that.
it's like that.
I totally miss it now, man. I mean, Indiana Jones was always the good guy. You know,
He was a scoundrel.
fine,
But,
but Nazis.
right,
Right.
right.
You know,
He didn't. Here's the thing. He didn't.
I
Indiana
hate these guys. You know?
Indiana Jones would never. You would never classify this guy as an anti-hero.
Right.
Right. He is
Right.
not. He's not in the
Right.
vein of Clint Eastwood in the '70s. Right. He's not Dirty Harry.
Not Dirty Harry. Yeah.
But there was something to be said about like Indiana Jones would probably kick a dude in the yahoos.
Right. Because that belongs in a museum.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And look at the people he's up against. Obviously, so by the time that Raiders actually starts cooking, you're like, this is not the first time he's run into Belloc, right?
Right. Yeah. Or Mr. Coathanger. Yeah.
I don't think he saw him before, but that would have been an interesting story
Right. Yeah.
if those guys had met before in the past.
Well, even if not,
Right.
you know where they stand. Yeah.
And okay, and there are certain things where they don't out and out say it, where they're like, I don't know if Marion Ravenwood was voting age when I don't know.
Yeah.
That timeline gets a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah,
sketchy.
yeah, yeah. It's a different time, man. It's the
Right.
1930s. Yeah, come on, man. So, I mean, like you could probably get legally married in several states at the age of 14, but whatever. You know?
Actually, that is a no. Well, wait a second. Wait a second. So, anyhow, he goes to school at he went to the University of Chicago, or did he teach there?
Well, no, it's a made-up university. What is the university? Uh,
Marion's father taught at like they said Chicago something,
I
right?
think it was Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
From the games, do you remember?
yeah.
They said that there's a school. Was it in New York? What
Well,
was
his
it?
school was in like New York or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an Ivy League school
Okay.
that they made up.
Okay. Okay.
Because they can't say,
Right.
"Oh, well, it's fucking Dartmouth or whatever."
Right. Dark mouth.
Dartmouth.
Right. Right. Right.
That was the point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there was the thing is yes he didn't have a dark side, he had a gotta get it done side, right?
Right. Yeah.
He says in his life just make it up as I go, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean there is that, but it's not at the end of the day.
Shush. Shush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, well again it's like in the third movie when his dad's just like it feels like a cigarette lighter. It's like son,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
you got something to tell me?
You're right. Yeah. Exactly.
You gonna tell me how long this has
Can't
been going
believe
on?
what you just did. Come on, Dad.
Now, on the other hand, you tell me this: was it sort of? did it feel sort of implied that maybe like Henry Jones had some adventures in his day too, or was that sort
Ships
of
in the night. Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, all right,
I guess it was
different kind,
implied, but
but
still, at the same point in time, I mean, it's a lighthearted movie. You're
yeah,
supposed to take it at face value, you know, and
you
like
got real bad guys
you
there
got
too.
real bad guys. I mean, the quintessential bad guys. You know, it was like, well, what was it? The army that walks before the what was it?
Oh! You're talking
Yeah,
about the speech?
yeah, exactly. We'll march all over
Rule
the
the
face
face
of
of
the earth.
yeah,
You know, you know, kind
yeah.
of thing. Yeah. You know,
It's
the
a
same
race
thing.
against
This is a
evil.
radio to talk to God.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, you don't want the Nazis to have that.
you don't.
I know. Yeah. But I mean, like, and even Star Wars was that way. Even with the like the follow up trilogy, you know, the prequels, it was pretty cut and dried. Okay, this guy with the yellow eyes and the wrinkly face, bad. You know, got it. All right. So yeah, he's the guy who's like, yes, I'm gonna have to watch your career closely, young Scott.
Well, the only difference is like so we knew that.
But
No. I
the gig
understand.
is up. Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, the gig
right.
is
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
we go in there saying like, I know what he's
Oh,
going
it's
to
that
do.
guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's
Got
like,
blue lightning, man.
yeah,
It's gonna come out eventually, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, and that's the whole thing is like we just got in this bad spot, you know, where like nobody's good, nobody's bad, you know. I mean, there's no clarity behind it. It's all interpretation. It's how you know choose to see it, blah 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 kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, like you said, that's fucking Twitter every day, you know. So
Well, I mean, that is the core basically of its identity. Where again, it's the whole issue is you have been the only thing impeding your path. You were perfect all along, right? Once you learn to accept yourself, you're great. That is not a journey of duty, honor, or sacrifice. That's not how
dude,
that works.
like if you look back far enough into the like late '80s and the '90s, you can see the roots of this stuff.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, yeah,
well, it's
yeah, yeah.
feminine. I mean, look, that's
Well, it's not even
that's
that.
the
It's fucking
second wave.
Dances with Wolves for crying out loud. You know, I mean,
Well, Dances with Wolves and everything of its ilk of live with second culture becomes second culture, right?
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
a. I would argue that's a different trope. I'm talking about the things where it's you do you're not even on a learning experience, right? This is just stuff that happens to you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
At least those things are how did you get into this position? How it is because of your openness, you're willing to embrace these people, the things that they teach you, the things that you teach them. It's it's like, yeah, there's going to be this moment where it's kind of like, I'm going to teach you about honor, and this is how you use a spoon, right? There's a little bit of you can stop eating with your hands, you
Right. Yeah.
savage.
No, 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 no.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little shovel. Do you know what a shovel is? Right. So there's that component of it. But yeah, that's the every war movie ever made, right? Rarely just goes into straight up like this happened here, this happened here. There's always a narrative in there of somebody who's going to have to do something above and beyond the call
Some
of
kind of
duty.
sacrifice. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Sometimes, and it's really heartwarming if it does, they make it out alive. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes they don't. And it's
Often.
heartbreaking,
Yeah. No.
right?
Yeah.
But it's for a bigger cause.
Right. Yeah.
It's something
yeah,
bigger
yeah.
than what they are, right?
Yeah.
Whereas what you are is the cause.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to sit, again, I don't, the point of going on to Netflix is not for me to sit there and say, like, okay, your accomplishment is what? Just speaking up and saying that you like men? Congratulations.
Right.
This is literally the least interesting thing about you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You care about this.
Philadelphia, this is not.
Philadelphia is a fucking banger of a movie compared to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and there's so many of them back in that point in time that were actually making that point. And, you know, okay, so it's holding up a little bit of a mirror, but it's still at the same point in time, you make the primary character like really sympathetic in some respects. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't even do that anymore. It's just like, oh, I'm sorry, you were born a badass, and we're all the problem. Got it. Yeah. I don't know, man. So we'll see. I think we're due for a change on this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's why I kind of want to go watch this new Game of Thrones thing because it's supposed to be in that vein. It's
Oh
supposed to be a really good watch, just like a lot of fun, but also at the same point in time, I mean, really doesn't like dwell on some of those, issues of like, oh, that guy might be the bad guy.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know,
And
it's not trying to trick you into anything. Like, and quite honestly, man, that's the whole fucking internet anymore. It's
well,
just like always trying to, it's like, hey, we got you. You got kid. Kind of thing. And it's getting old. And it's getting you know like stupidly predictable. On so many different things.
well, this. So I mean, you're right. There's a component to it, and the word that they typically use for this is subversion, right? And I get it.
Right. Yeah.
And there is a point to that. To yes, absolutely. There's when it comes to the history of fiction, and yes, I do know something a little bit about this here, right? There is this moment of where it gets, um, you're going to start with a certain type of story. It's going to start with origin stories, and you're eventually going to get this and these kind of different layers of literature, and eventually you're going to get to the meta level. The meta level is where you're going to get to subversion and um, not just subversion, but deconstruction.
Right.
Right
Yeah.
now, the problem here is that once you're in the deconstruction phase, you can't deconstruct deconstruction. That doesn't work. You have to. So
Examples.
okay. So to okay, let me put it this way. So why? What is Blazing Saddles a parody of?
All westerns.
Okay, so it's a deconstruction of westerns.
Yeah, fucking Shane.
You
Whatever.
you play
Yeah.
on all those tropes, and
Yeah.
you're going to twist them. You're going to turn them, and you're going to say your expectations are this, and now I'm going to do that. So, can you do a deconstruction of Blazing Saddles?
No, you can't, man.
Why not?
It's already broken down into individual components.
Correct.
So yeah, I got
Correct.
you. I got you. I see where
Right.
you're going with this.
Which is why Ghostbusters works. Ghostbusters 2016
Does
doesn't
not work, yeah,
because
yeah, I'm sorry, the Lego set is already down to the individual pieces.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
you've already used those elements in the
Right.
filmmaking, whereas Ghostbusters is in of itself sort of a deconstruction of a genre anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, not as much as some others, but like do that to Young Frankenstein, you can't do it.
No.
Yeah, I got
No.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is if you're going to do that, and again, that's where you're essentially it's like skipping all those steps in the math,
Right.
right? You're saying
You're not showing your work.
absolutely,
Yeah,
no,
you're not showing your work.
that's
Yeah,
it. That's why
yeah.
it's not earned. You don't
Yeah.
get Blazing Saddles works because of the I don't know 35 or so years that precede it.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Same thing with Spaceballs, even though we shit on it all the time. But it's doing the same thing, man.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that's why it's easier to parody a genre than it is one movie.
Right.
Right? So I mean, so that's the part of it that becomes difficult here is when you take somebody else's property, right, and you say, all right, I'm going to take all of the things that came along with Star Wars, right, and I'm going to use it. I'm not going to write my own shit, right?
Right.
I'm going to use what other people did,
Right.
right? And I'm going to deconstruct it and that, even though within that movie series, it's already done that with the 3 movies that came out like 30 years later.
Right.
Because you can't just. The problem here is like when your last movie comes out in like 1984 and the next one comes out in what, 1999, I think? Was it 2000? Episode 1 came out in what, 1999?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have like a when you have like a 15-year gap between these things, right?
Mhm.
What you can't do is you can't just like start over and say, okay, because the normal thing would be to do is, all right, so the last one was 6, we'll go to 7.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's
yeah.
the sequential
Yeah,
thing.
right.
So
Yeah.
what they did was already a subversion and deconstruction because they're like, well, actually, we're going to do the first 3, and we have to do this with you guys knowing the outcome of 4, 5, and 6. So they had to
I
basically.
think it was just coloring the background, though, more so than anything else, wasn't it?
Well, but that's the problem. Is how do you do a story? This is one of my problems with prequels. Here is how do you
Yeah,
do a story where the
where you have to get that point.
without undercutting the big points
Well,
of
Rogue One did a really good job of that. So,
Rogue One said, "I've got a spot between here and here."
yeah, I'm just going to fill the gap.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Whereas if you're doing the prequels, you have to add lore.
yeah, but I think that was already in his mind,
Oh
in some
yeah, yeah,
respects.
yeah.
Yeah, and so he picked out four as being the best place to start because it was what he could sell.
Yes, it
It
was the
actually fit.
self-contained part.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I'm not going to really hold that against him
No, no, no,
in
no,
that
no,
one,
no.
But then to take that to 7, 8, and 9, where now we're going to destroy, deconstruct everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Is
I got you.
because I
Yeah.
think you and I could both argue that 1, 2, and 3
Well, and
have a.
Star Trek is a better example
Oh,
of that.
that
Yeah,
is
no,
that is
yeah, it's just a hot fucking mess now.
well, because it here's. Oh God. All right. Not that I want to. Okay. So that show, right, already had two swipes basically at. All right. So you have the original series, you have the movies that
Uh-huh.
start in there, right? You have the Next Generation, which is a. It's hard for me to say that's not a deconstruction, but it kind of is. More of it is, to its credit, a lot of it just like it's this. We're going to move it ahead this far,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and we're just
yeah,
going to add to it.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah,
The deconstruction is actually Deep Space Nine, where it says like these are all the Federation expectations. What happens when it's ugly and out here on the frontier?
yeah,
How
yeah.
do things fall apart, right? And so the things afterwards, like the reason like I didn't really like Voyager was I was like, well, this is the Next Generation with worse characters. It
Yeah,
is.
and no familiar planets. Yeah, yeah,
No,
right.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love the idea of being stuck out, somewhere in the real wilderness, and like we have limited resources, we have to try to get home. That's the overarching thing. But I was like,
Yeah,
so
it had a little touch of Odysseus to it. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like so if you're going to do that, and that's the universe you're going to go in, you have to bank everything on your characters, and it's like, all right, so what are these people? It's like, well, you have this charisma vacuum at Janeway. I'm like, she's just her thing is like this but female. I'm like, okay, um,
yeah. I don't think it was that bad, man.
it's not horrible.
No,
It's just
yeah.
milk toast, man. It's not.
Okay, well, it's just maybe a little bit of lack of imagination upon the showrunners, more so than anything else. But that is nothing compared to what was
Oh no no
what
no
was 10
no
years down the road,
no
man.
no no no
Yeah, I mean,
no. That I mean, when it comes to actually rewriting what these people have done, um, I'm sorry, man. It is a real case of you expect nothing, you get nothing. So
yeah,
if you uh, uh,
you just showed up to this party. Yeah.
when you start with the baseline, because I mean, if you go back to the original '60s series, and I find it hard to watch a little bit, just because there's
They're
a
pretty brutal.
they look better now. They've remastered this and made it a lot easier to look at. And when you break it down, I mean, these like Harlan Ellison is working on the show. There's a lot of great science fiction here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But that gives a lot of credit to the audience, right? And I think the other shows did. The new series
No credit.
presumes that their audience is retarded.
It's a
Like,
fucking slide deck.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah, I
man.
know,
I
man.
mean, just like if you go out there and baseline and say like our audience is fucking dumb, and we're gonna
It is our job to educate them.
well,
Yeah.
then there's a place like, well, then write something for dumb people. Don't make it Star
Yeah,
Trek.
yeah. That smart, stupid square thing.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah. No,
yes.
I gotcha. I don't know, man. It just like that. The whole preachy thing seems to be a little bit played out at this point in time, man.
It's kind of on its way out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so, man. I think we have good things to look forward to.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
who knows in what forms they'll come, but like just seeing the indie scene and then like some of these spin-off shows
Yeah.
and like the absolute disaster that was Lord of the Rings, you know. So, or Rings of Power, it's just like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that anymore.
Now
You
you tell me.
know,
You tell me. All right. Have you heard an actual person in the actual habitat, not the online sphere? Have you met any actual person that says, I kind of like Ring of Power?
no,
Not one?
not one.
Never heard of nobody
No,
praise. I
no,
didn't
no,
think so.
no, 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 no. And I mean, well, first of all, you have to be kind of like into it in order to be into that, and it was just like a complete break, because like honestly, I watched the first one, I was kind of excited for it because like, okay, I read the Silmarillion, let's check this out.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait a minute, that's not what she did, and that's not what that dude did, and that's not that guy, and that guy's dead. You know, it was like, whoa. I thought I was in here for a good ride. I mean,
Right.
I'd love to
Right.
see somebody actually bring this to fruition, but no. So, and then they like skipped an entire fucking millennium of shit,
Right.
to get to this thing where it's like, oh yeah, we could have Numenor with like, I mean, we can just make up whatever we want. It was like, no, 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 no.
Right.
There's like really good stories in here, and thank God that Tolkien's like estate didn't give you access to those, man, because now there's a little bit of hope in the future that someone's actually going to do that right, at some point in time. But whatever, and like the whole thing, and I mean, so all right, to his discredit, Peter Jackson took that entire Hobbit series,
Yeah.
and just like spun that out as thin as he possibly fucking could.
You can read
You know,
that in a night, man.
you can read it in a decent afternoon, bro. I mean that's like a train station book. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, okay, all right, all right, all right. Yeah, you can read it before the C batteries run out in your flashlight during a power outage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you have to get the phone bank. I mean, you're gonna be good. You can get through the audiobook on a single charge. Come on, man. So, and just like it was like, all right, so this is obviously a money grab here. I got it, but it's also like pandering to fans who are like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Sure, sure, yeah, yeah.
Kind of thing.
This is our last trip here. We might as well see everything.
We might as well like
Yeah.
flesh this and completely out, and bring in bad guys that weren't actually Fangs, and
Yeah.
give this guy a whole bunch of lines that he didn't have, and oh wow, this guy's gonna sign up for the movie even though he's not in a fucking book,
right.
so let's get him in here. It's almost like like okay, closing time in this park is in 4 minutes. So
Get everything that
get
you
everything
can
in
because
when
this is
you
the
can,
last
'cause
you're
we're
gonna
not
get.
gonna see it again.
Yeah.
But then to take that and to turn it into Rings of Power, it was like, wait a minute, this is not even a piece that was fully fleshed out, and so you do have a little bit of room in here,
Right.
but not like that. you know. And so yeah, I made it through the first episode of that, and I was like, oh no, 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 man. And I get that whole thing about shitting on the lore and stuff like that. I don't really care about that. You know, what I do care about is like, okay, so there's an essential piece to this. Okay, that when I show up to the door expecting this, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, you showed up for like, fucking lasagna. Well, here's, like, here's the Totino's pizza. Come on, what the fuck?
Well, okay. All right. All right.
So,
Okay. So when you're talking about things, it's not just the lore. I think a lot of that is going to be is does the lore inform the universe or any characters within
Right.
it, and that's important. So,
Yeah.
like, say for example, like if God help me, if I was the one that and it wasn't that long, and they say like, all right, so it's time to remake Lord of the Rings,
okay.
right? And they've tapped you guys. It's like me and him. It's like yeah. It's like I think. See, that's the thing about this Frodo guy is like he seems too labored, right? And so you can't have Frodo going through this and like when he gets stabbed by the fucking the Delta Knights, the what are the Frost Wyverns or whatever. No, the Ring Rays, yeah. I can't remember the word. It's just like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When he gets stabbed, yeah, he can't. he can't put his hand on his chest and say, "Well, that just happened," right? Because it's
Right. Yeah.
you can't do. But a lot of things will do that. It's like that doesn't inform the character. That's bullshit millennial writing, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
in order to make things accessible, we're going to have these sort of things, these anachronisms, right? Same thing where it's like, well, I guess you can make the argument of some places. Well, I understand this is supposed to be like Northern Europe. It's weird to see like Asians and black people here. It doesn't really make sense with the lore. I can look past this unless you make a big deal about it.
And that's exactly where they went.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then that's just background shit.
Yeah.
But if you're going to sit there and say like, this is a black bearded dwarf woman
Wait, what? Yeah, exactly.
in rings,
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know. Yeah.
no. See, you made a big deal of it.
Right, you put it front and center.
You can't do that.
No. Yeah.
The whole thing is
Just go write your own shit then.
if you're there, right? If you're watching it, but the actual stuff is going on, you say like, "Did you see?"
Right, yeah. Did I see that right? Yeah,
Is
yeah.
Right, I got it. But yeah, if you put it out there front and center, you've just made it about that,
Yeah.
and that has nothing to do with the actual story.
Yeah, I get that, man. I just I don't know. I just hope it's a little bit played out because really when it comes down to it, it just really detracts from, really good stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, fundamentally, I mean, almost all of these franchises had to stand on like some kind of like there was something appealing about it that would draw in not audience naturally, rather than doing it artificially like this. Oh, that person's like me. It's like, well, no. Okay, this is a made up universe with made up people, made up races, and all that stuff. That's not you, man. Okay,
Well,
I mean, and that's okay, but still at the same point in time, that like really hides some of the basic, just human themes behind that. That really makes some of these stories quite appealing. And I don't know, man.
yeah,
I don't know. That's like why I kind of miss my '80s action music videos and stuff like that.
sure,
Where it's like,
sure.
yeah, okay, so those guys bad, Arnold good,
Oh, certainly.
Predator bad.
Well, and this is all right. So this is where the representation part falls apart with me. Right? Is the idea that we're human beings, Patrick. We all have aspects of our personality.
Right.
Right. The things that are you say like, all right, the things that are representative are how do you act? What is this person's personality? What are
Sure.
their attributes? Is there a person who gets into more trouble, right, because they insist on doing the right thing? That's me, or
Yeah.
whatever that case
Yeah.
may be.
Yeah.
Or it's like, you know what? I might be the type of person. It's like you have this kind of like you think about Indiana Jones for something. It's like, so if Indiana Jones was at the restaurant with me and I was at the table over, right? And I had coffee and pie, and he's over there eating like a full like rotisserie chicken and like duck.
Okay.
So if the waitress comes to his table and gives him my ticket, would Indiana Jones look at this and say like, $10, huh? Or would he say, I think you have the wrong table? See, I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
See, when you're talking about relatability, it's in character.
right.
I don't have to look at this and say like, I understand he does things that I do, but he's not Asian, man. So fuck him.
Yeah. No, we just getting a little bit too far over our skis on that stuff.
We're up our own
So,
ass, yeah.
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 I don't know.
Queer
man.
representation is it's to the point where it's like 25% what it is in the actual world.
Well, I mean, and that's fine if it's in that setting, where it actually you can find characters that are like remember back to like movies like The Birdcage. I mean,
The brilliant movie.
a brilliant movie. You would
Yeah.
never actually like look at those guys and oh my god, half the people in this movie are gay.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so it's in Miami and it centers around a gay club,
Correct.
and it's really interesting to watch.
This movie's hilarious.
It's hilarious and it's really well done, even with Gene Hackman, who was brilliant in it. And it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, this is cool.
Correct.
So, but I don't need to like take that and stretch it over like every thing because it's like then at a point in time it's out of context.
Well, because the
So,
same thing, it's like breaking down any group of people where it's like, okay, well, actually, no, these are just four white guys in Wisconsin, right? That
right, yeah,
happens,
yeah,
right? Instead of saying, well, okay, so there is a white guy here,
right,
but he's a dumbass,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
He is this dude is just kind of like,
You could just write Fargo and you've got a couple dumbass white guys in it because everybody else is just like normies. You know? Yeah, I know. I get it, man.
but then
Yeah.
yeah, then you have to look at the other group. It's like, well, you have this Asian girl, and she seems to know everything.
Right.
She's the one
Yeah.
that's saying like,
Yeah.
that's a magic marker.
Yeah.
It's not food, right?
Stupid ass white people.
But that's the thing. It's like, yeah,
I know, man.
you
I
are
know.
going to
I
have a
know.
group. Like, look at the dynamics of who we grew up here just in this neighborhood,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, mostly white people.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
is what it is, right? If you're going to rewrite history and say like, yeah, Kevin was an Asian woman, it's not.
Nothing but Taco Bell. Come on, man. It just doesn't work. Yeah,
You
yeah. No,
know,
I get it, man.
it's the personalities, the psychopaths we grew up with. It's like everybody's like, it's like we had those people in our neighborhood. We had
Right.
right
Yeah.
the scary to go back to it, which is where why does that shitty story work? Not because of the fucking clown, because of the psychopaths in the story where you're like, yeah, I knew
I
racist
knew that
kids
guy.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, no,
yeah,
no.
yeah. That's sorry.
Yeah.
That's me just like bitching about that stuff. But
No, you're
I think
fine,
you're
man.
right. I think there is a
I think it's just getting back to like you have to grow your audience organically, on
yes,
things like that. And
yes,
that means that you need to have like characters that actually represent like folks that regardless of, their backgrounds, their
yes.
situations, stuff like that, they can relate to that because there's just like fundamental human traits like honesty, honor, sacrifice, but then also on top of that, like deception and
Temptation,
temptation, yeah,
greed,
greed, just sometimes just plain like maliciousness,
uh,
yeah,
avarice. Yes,
avarice, yeah, and I mean, those are all things that everybody can recognize, regardless of where you come from, in some respects. And I don't
well
know,
said.
man.
Yeah,
You just it's just like it's harder to plug into things now, because they don't really do a good job of actually illustrating those character traits. They just assign labels and identities to them, and I mean it's really kind of disrespectful in some respects if you
it's
think about
quite
that. Yeah,
that's my take exactly.
yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes,
really
yes.
quite disrespectful because it's basically. I mean, you're talking about millennial writing, and I even think that's disrespectful in some respects because it's just based upon age. Okay, you're going to find individuals in that category who would fall under the millennial category who are perfectly fine writing within this own style, and
Understood.
stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so you got to be careful about that in some respects because you're falling into the same trope.
Well, let me clarify on that before you. Okay, so in the same way that like if I'm going to go to like the Romantic period, not everybody wrote that same style,
No, very few people did.
but it's but it's indicative. If it's the classification of an era that is known by certain typical tropes and
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
styles, and
yeah.
again within that, here's that same sort of undercut serious moments. Don't let everything is a chance for a meta joke. Everything is anachronisms are totally
Right, yeah.
fine.
You don't need
That's
like snark,
right,
and stuff like
right,
that. I get
right.
that, and so
Everybody sounds the same.
and
Yes,
that's fine. I'll see that point in some respects, but because you do have to draw cut lines around things in order to be able to classify them and compare them
that's
to
it.
others.
That's
I get
that's
it.
that's that's
Yeah,
it.
but still at the same point in time, it's like it's just like you know, um, it's just not relatable. More
Well,
so than anything else.
it's well again. This
There's not a
is
universalism behind it that like drives, that kind of like, oh, okay, that's me. I don't care if he's like some South Asian kid in this is like that's who I would be, kind of thing. You know.
well okay. So let's. I mean, there is a component of this where you say like people write what you know, right? So
Right.
let's go back to Gene Roddenberry for a second. even though he wrote about space hippies, he was in the fucking Navy.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and it comes through his writing. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And the conception where it's like, this is also
Space
a
hippies.
military, this is also a military vessel, right? Which is why we have structures, and this is why you address people as sir, right?
Yes.
This is why in 2026, and they're making these series, your chick captain is sitting there on the chair with like her legs up and like,
Yeah, I know.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and so what I'm talking about is like, that was informed by the people who had
Right.
lived experiences.
Yeah.
And again, this is, I'm not just going to pick on women. I'm going to for a second, but it's for a purpose, right? When it comes down to it, 3/4 of all editors are female. Okay. That's just the way that it works. It's not that they're necessarily doing the writing, but they are the line upon which this gets passed, right? They're the ones that say this is what we need. And to be fair, all these things I'm talking about are typically more signs and symptoms and pieces, components of female writing, which is fine. It has a time and place, but it doesn't work for Star Trek. It doesn't work for Star Wars. It doesn't work for like, and so yeah, that's the thing is there's no Hemingway in this crowd because you have everybody that's in this writer's room all grew up in the same 5 blocks of Malibu.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
You're not coming from a Korean War
no.
fucking background where like everybody had to serve together, blah blah blah.
We,
Like Gene Roddenberry did.
like Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
We've talked about Mo Brooks before. It's like,
Same
how do you
thing.
have that kind of humor? Well,
Well, he used to go dig up mines in fucking Bastogne. Yeah. You have a little bit different perspective on how serious you should take life if you had to pick up mines for a living, for a little while.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I get that. And that's not to say that we should have World War III just to produce a new batch of good writers.
Absolutely not. Yes, that's not it. But
But, those jobs in some respects should actually take care to actually reach out to, a little bit more of a broad swath than 5 blocks in Malibu or 6 blocks in Manhattan,
well, and that's the thing is what you're looking for, and this is what they don't do is they say what you're looking for is diversity of experience,
Right.
and all you're looking at is diversity of color, sex, and race.
Well,
but it doesn't matter when you all grew up in the same fucking
identify
spot.
diversity. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and see, that's like, one of my things about teaching in particular is, like academies have gotten a little bit off base on this when diversity is surface level diversity. But like you've worked with many educators in the past, and they all teach in different ways and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
That's actually what's important. And the same thing's true with writing. You approach problems from a different perspective. You have a different background that you can bring to it. It's not the best one. It's not the worst one, kind of thing. It just contributes to it.
Yep.
In some respects. And, like that deep level diversity is something that's really lacking, in those areas that, have like commandeered the commanding heights of like most of, the cultural production, but it's not sustainable because you see all this stuff coming up in indie film, indie games, and indie writing and stuff like that. Reporting, where people are coming from places from different perspectives rather than like just filling a room and looking different when you can take a cursory glance at it, as opposed towards like actually having diverse backgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes, that's again, you can't if you're going to make games, and if it's the first time that your Assassin's Creed game is going to go to Japan, which people have been begging for.
I know.
Maybe
I
you
know where you're going with
should
it.
make it about Japanese people instead of this fictional kind of
Right.
real black guy.
That's okay. I can go play Ghost of Tsushima instead.
That's sort of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
a Japanese game made by Japanese people. Shocking.
This is the most racist thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. No Koreans allowed. The fucking Mongols.
Dude, I mean, so yeah, and that's the same thing where, so yeah, if you have all your writers and they come from the same place, of course, when you're doing this writing, they say like, whereas there's, Hemingway's going to reflect this in like, yeah, I've seen some shit. I'm going to tell it through the story of this big ass fish that I'm trying to bring back, but the sharks keep eating.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
But this story is great. And he's going to go out again,
Yeah.
right? That's the whole purpose of it.
Right.
Versus you see, like, well, yeah, obviously identity is the big issue in my time.
Right. Yeah.
It's the hugest thing. Whereas the rest of the society is like, so you can't eat carpet like that, silly daddy.
Yeah. Magic flame dinner. Silly daddy. You got to boil it first. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
have to draw people from actually diverse backgrounds, and that's where you find
Or you don't. You just pull it from that perspective. You know.
or write that right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Silly flying carpet. Yeah. You know?
Well, or again, it's not like so. Again, a beautiful movie, Clueless. Okay, it's great. It's written
Oh, yeah.
about a very specific part of California. It's an adaptation of Jane Austen's story, but you do it in this part of California that you all understand. You lean into it. It's funny, right?
It's great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
it's
charming.
great.
But don't do that to Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a different movie, man. It's
Don't
a different movie.
don't do that to the NFL. I mean, it's like it's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Well, I don't know about the NFL. I mean, it's a little bit different. It's, it really has become like one of the few meeting places where you mingle with like a lot of Americans.
It's the last.
Well,
one
I
of
don't know if
the
it's the
last.
last, but
Well, it's on at Christmas.
well, no, I get that. It's on a Christmas, it's on all these holidays, but like it's not hard to find NFL fans.
Nope.
And so okay, all right, so fine, maybe that's the Medicare of football.
Yep.
Or I mean of sports. All right,
Nope.
everybody
You got it.
participates
Yep.
at some point in time. Okay, I'm cool with that. Kind of thing. But because those spaces are becoming less frequent. I was thinking about this today driving down to work. This morning. And just like reflecting on my retirement from Twitter. And stuff like that. And I was like sitting there thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I mean, like I grew up and you grew up in a unique time,
Yes.
where literally the technology limited how many news sources you could get based upon fucking radio waves and licenses and stuff like that. The internet blew that all up.
Yes.
But is that really that different than say like 1920s America or 1910s yellow journalism where like not everybody read the New York Times or a Hearst paper or something like that. Okay, but everything like your local paper would be downstream from that, so they would pull an article or two from that. So
Yeah.
you get a little taste of everything, but it was just like all mixed up and shit. And so, we're kind of back into that now, but they got through that just fine. So, like, okay, so fine, we fought a war, you know, went after Cuba because some guy controlled a newspaper at the time. There are other reasons for that and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. But, people were like pretty reserved about it at that time. It wasn't like, oh, let's say the fucking invade Cuba right now.
Yeah.
It took
Yeah.
like 8 months for everybody to kind of debate that out, because it had to filter through all kinds of different sources and things like that, which is very different than like Korea, okay, where you had like three news channels, or Vietnam, where you had three news channels and one of them was Walter Cronkite, kind of talking about this stuff, or even Gulf, the Gulf War, the first one, where it was still kind of like that. You had CNN who was just getting started up, but that was before Fox News too.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so it was like, all right, so it's probably a little bit better that we're actually seeing through things through multiple sources and multiple lenses, because like quite honestly, the first 150 years of the country operated like that.
This is true.
It's
Yeah.
only been like the
Yeah.
last 80 where we were operating off this like, oh, okay, so we're all getting our news from the same fucking
Sort of
place.
like this.
Yeah, exactly. It was like an hourglass. It kind of funneled together.
Yeah.
But that was just technology, man. It was just like, okay, so there's only so many like bandwidths in here, and there's only so many radio waves, and these guys have a lot of money, so we're going to sell them one, kind of thing. And now it's like it's just all blown up in some respects, and so even just listening to like just the radio today on Donald Trump's speech last night.
Mm-hmm.
it was a very clean, very straightforward kind of presentation of what he had to say and things like that. But that's limited by bandwidth. The minute I go on Twitter,
You
the whole
wouldn't believe this
you
shit.
wouldn't believe
Yeah,
this. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. And it's like, okay, all right. So I even talking to, some folks about it today. It was like, and it's like, you know,
So here's the
how many places do you get your news from? It's like, oh, this one over here. It's like, oh, okay, all right, that's one of 50. Just be cool with that, man. And so the same thing's kind of like media is kind of downstream from that in some respects, if you think about it. Because if you think about all the stuff that's coming out now is basically like downstream effects of the constellation of studio system that has occurred over the last 20 years. Okay. When you and I were growing up, there were multiple studios producing a lot of different shit.
Yes.
So yeah, you had Paramount, you had TriStar, you had
Columbia,
Columbia, you had Fox, you had all kinds
Line,
of
yeah, you had a ton of
New
stuff.
Line,
Yeah.
and then all of those, kind of glommed into it, just a few.
Just Odell Lake with slightly bigger fish.
Totally, yes, exactly. So it got eaten by the smaller, bigger
Yep. Yep.
and stuff like that. Well, what happens to the bigger fish eventually? It dies. And now we release all these fucking parasites out there, and it's kind of healthy for the lake.
And
yeah,
it dies, and a bunch of little fish eat that, and that's how it goes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so, the little fish are going to be king here in a few years. So I think we're going to be okay.
Well, okay, so I agree with you, but in a slightly different way,
Okay.
right? Because I think one of the biggest things here is whether or not, because you and I, again, it's the people get, I don't want to say addicted, but in some ways they do, because it's a different reality than the reality they grew up with, right? You and I only have that perspective because we knew what the times were like before. It's a question of perspective. They don't, right? The people who are right now, the Zers, they don't. This has been their entire life, right? So
I think they're better at navigating it, though.
they have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
for us, right? And this is where you see people going absolutely fucking insane with this, right? Because again, their brains can't process it.
They're usually people who are older than me.
Oh, they're worse.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The thing that's good about their psychosis is that their mobility is limited.
Yeah.
That is
Sometimes by arthritis. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
This is where the fucking but so we're in that sort of middle ground, right? Where when you see the fucking danger hares and fucking weirdos out there in Minneapolis, it's like you see the ones that are our age. It's like I know what's wrong with you. Right, I can tell. Right,
you need a job.
Exactly. You have made this. You believe that this is a big deal, right? So, for those of us that are in that psychosis, the best way I can say this here is, we grew up in the mountains, okay, and let's say I'm going to use that area up there of the campgrounds where if you're up there, there's no light around it. You can see the stars perfectly, right? So take us, and now that's what we knew. Now we're on the coast.
Right.
Okay. We live next to the ocean now.
Right.
And if you listen to every wave, it'll drive you fucking insane.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So either you learn to just hear the ones that matter, because you can't ignore them all, because one of them's going to take away your house. Right? This is just a blast to destroy the house. Right.
Yeah.
But you have to ignore most of it, and then you find, because like the first night, you're not going to be able to sleep. I'm not used to the sound.
It's gonna be like a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you grew up and your house was on the ocean,
you're fine.
You've heard that noise the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? So either something's going to come in there that's different for their new version of the ocean, right? Or thank God for them, it's kind of like, well, this is the noise. I'm looking for signal. I've grown up with this.
Yeah.
This is why the people who had it the least for 50 years, they didn't have this shit. Now the last few years have told them it's an emergency every 7 seconds. They believe it.
Especially if you see it on every fucking channel. Yeah.
That's correct.
Because that used to be the thing. Is there a hurricane? Turn on ABC. Okay, there's a hurricane. Turn on NBC. Oh shit, there actually is a hurricane. Turn on CBS. Fucking A. Get the plywood out.
So, guys, I don't know, for whoever you is listening in other states or whatever, anything like this, right? What I would like to express here is, This may be a Colorado thing, and I'm going to go back to like the 80s and 90s. You probably had your version of this, but depending on what channel you were watching, there was a sound the TV would make when there was like a tornado warning.
Right.
And it was terrifying.
Right.
I know, like on KRDO, it was like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when you heard that, you freaked out. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But if you heard tornado warnings every minute
Every
on the
fucking
minute,
day. Yeah.
are you going to fret every tornado, or are you going to eventually say, like, if it happens, it happens?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What am I going to do?
This might be the big one. I don't know.
Yeah. So will they be fine? Maybe. It depends on how things go.
I think
But
the kids will be fine, man. I'm worried about like folks who are a little bit older than us, and maybe a couple who are a little bit younger. Just I think it'd be harder to be at a point in time where you didn't see like convergence in the news, and now it's just like all noise, or maybe you saw a little bit of it, because I remember like, okay, so 9/11 happens, it's all on all fucking TVs. It's obviously a big
four straight months of just this,
kind of thing. But then we turn around and you look at it today. I mean, like, how many crises have we had in the last like 6 weeks?
Do you want to try and count them back?
I can't, man. I don't have that many fingies. So, and let alone the ones that are boiling in the pot, right
now.
Yeah.
But
it's just like, is it really, come on.
Well, again, the tornado sound made you scared because it was local. If you got the tornado warning,
I get your point
Nebraska,
there. Yeah, exactly,
and South Dakota, and Hong Kong,
or let alone Russia,
but your brain doesn't really see the distance because it's a number over 7,000.
Right? Yeah, it's just right there on Twitter. Yeah, got it,
bro. That's the reason that when they ask people, they ask people for those numbers, and they say like, how many people are gay? Percentage of the population? They say 25.
Yeah, right.
It's like, well, it's actually a fraction of a percent, to be honest with you.
Maybe 2.
They say, what percentage of people are black? They say 40.
Right.
Because that's just how news reports to them.
Yeah. Well, that's just what you see.
Yeah. So it's that. So eventually you learn. It's like, well, if the ocean's always there, I got to listen for the things that matter.
Right. Yeah.
And I just have to tune out the things because.
And that's
what's got to do with
like that's the whole fringe that we see. Just people who can't tune it out, or choose not to because that's their job.
That's their well, they want to look at you two and say, "Oh, you don't care." It's like, no, you don't get to make that decision.
No, that's my call, not yours. Yeah, sorry. So sorry, but no sorry.
I apologize. It's like there was a time Nazi meant something. You guys
done fucked it up
into the ground.
Yep. Genghis Khan's horses, man. You ran it over.
So if me not caring about this or saying, it's like, do you want? I want them splitting up families. It's like, no, I want them splitting up more. It's, I'm sorry. Like again, that would be you're giving them free rein. That's saying like, oh, okay, well, this guy killed somebody. He's got kids. So I mean, I'd have to split up his family to put him in jail.
Right.
I can't do that.
It's not your place to either.
No.
No.
So I'm just going to look at this like, they should do their job. You should be at work.
Yeah, you should go to work or go home and, like adopt some kittens or something.
A lot of kittens need love.
A lot of kids need love. A lot of puppies need love too.
Go
find one.
Soup needs to be served near you.
Correct. Yes.
Are you serving soup?
Yeah.
Then shut the fuck up.
There's probably litter in the field behind your yard. Go take care of that.
That is correct. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hitting the button.
Yeah.